Welcome to the Latin Wealth Podcast, a podcast dedicated to educating the Latino community about entrepreneurship, investing, and business.
Yo, what's going on, Latin Wealth family? Welcome to another episode to Wealth Wednesday, and Happy New Year's if you are watching this episode. Happy New Year's. Welcome to 2025. Hopefully you got some rest over the past couple weeks with the holidays. Hopefully you didn't go too crazy trying to find that parking spot and whatnot. But we're here now, happy to be here, excited to be here. We're actually recording this on New Year's Eve. So many different holidays. New Year's Eve. So what we want to do on this episode is we want to talk about some tech predictions for 2025 that will shape our future, that are going to project to shape our future. All right. So going to be a jam-packed episode. We're going to break some of this stuff down. A lot of it has to do with AI and economics and whatnot, but it's going to be a great episode. And really, the reason why we want to record this episode is we want to help you guys set up 2025 right with the correct information and put you in the right direction to start thinking about or acting on certain information that could elevate you in your life. All right. So you guys know that's what Wealth Wednesday and the Latin Wealth platform is all about. What else? If this is your first time listening, welcome. I will say there is a large percentage of people that are watching Latin Wealth that are not subscribed. So if you can hit the subscribe button, it would mean the world to us. If you can share this episode with somebody else, that would also mean a lot to us, man. We really want you guys a part of this community, and we were just talking about before we hit record how both of us have this servant mentality, and that really pushes us to be consistent, to show up every single Wednesday to provide you guys this information, this news, and to continue to build this community. So if you guys can just hit that subscribe button, you can share it with somebody, it would mean the world to us. Jeremiah, how you feeling today, man?
I'm inspired now after your speech, for sure. No, I'm feeling good, man. This is the beginning of the year, first day of the new year. Everybody's out there, new year, new me. So hopefully this can help to project you into that, that stratosphere of good financial and
Mhm.
educational decisions. So let's get it.
100%. So, look, we're going to dive into some tech predictions for 2025 that will help shape our future. 2025 will be another year of massive change. We spoke about it on our last episode, and we teased it like, yo, there's some things in AI, robotics that are just the advancement is just unreal, right? So, we're going to talk about. We're not going to talk about space travel, but inside the article, it talks about space travel, healthcare. These are some different areas that where breakthroughs are going to suggest that possibilities in this new year are going to be unlimitless, right? So there's 12 different predictions in this Forbes article that it mentions. We're going to cover about two to three. Some of them are linked together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to get into these different predictions from Forbes, and we're gonna give our thoughts, opinions on all this, and just have a phenomenal conversation. Go ahead and hit share. Let me know if you can see it,
Yeah,
Jeremiah.
we're good. We're
We're
good.
good.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
cool. So 12 tech predictions for 2025 that will shape our future. We're going to scroll down a little bit. This was just released on December 30th, and it's a lot of good information in here. And one of the ones right off the bat that we want to talk about is the global economic shift, right? So pretty much in this short section, it's talking about how an advancement in technology will shape economic growth. All right, so I would love to get Jeremiah in here. This is something that he's studying literally every single day, whether it's New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. He's consistently studying this information. Would love to get you in here, man. Get your thoughts, and talk to us.
I mean, we've already seen the beginning of this, and we talked about this, I think, on last episode, and you maybe for a couple of episodes now, but the countries that have and don't have AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the
Mm-hmm.
creation or manufacturing of the pieces that make up the AI industry. So this is why America and China are in a technological war right now. And it's talking about the BRICS nations because China is a part of the BRIC nations, right? It's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and the S, I don't even know what the S is. Is that supposed to be Singapore or
You're
Saudi
right.
Arabia? I think it's Saudi
That's,
Arabia. Um,
mm,
Here's the thing. As you start to get towards who wants to be the number one country in the world, right? The number one superpower, which we can kind of see China's already aligned itself to do that, but America's still fighting South Africa. Wow, I
yep.
wouldn't have chose that. Man.
Yep. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa's
South
BRICS.
Africa, geez. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have got that. Now, I think that the biggest issue that people have to look at here is that AI, not only is it just like the actual industry itself is making massive amounts of money because you see Nvidia is aligned, right, vertically integrated with OpenAI, then just Microsoft. And so out of the top seven stocks that we have that's growing the American economy, it's linked to AI,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so you want to make sure to keep feeding those companies and making sure that they have everything they need to continue growing in AI. So that's the industry itself. But then on top of that is the actual implementation of the technology. So what does that mean? That means like AI figuring out what's the best stock picks for a company, what's the best stock picks for you as an individual, right? How much more productive can it make manufacturing if I implement AI preciseness into how I build out a car for a robot, right? Implementation into which we'll get into in a minute, but all of this is a part of that technology. And so what ends up happening is year by year that technology gets more, we talk about being sentient,
Mm-hmm.
more human-like, right? More understanding and learning that it can do. And so it eliminates jobs. Now, if we were just talking about this as well, if you know how to utilize the technology and you're the person behind the screen telling the technology what to do and how to implement whatever it is that you're prompting it to do, you're probably going to make a sizable amount of money, right? If not, then yeah, there's it's going to replace people and their jobs. And so what ends up happening is the wealth gap starts to
Mm.
get larger and larger. So
Yep.
it's the people that fully understand what's going on in AI, right? Even in these countries, it's the people that understand, the companies that understand and are utilizing AI, and then the people that aren't. And that gap between the amount of money that the people between the haves and have-nots or understand and don't understand is going to get larger.
Mm.
And we were talking about that. In like the next 2 or 3 years, massive amounts of money will be made by people that understand AI and how to utilize it.
Absolutely. And it even says in this article, it says there will be an apparent dichotomy between
Dichotomy.
countries that participate in the innovative economy and those that lack the ability or infrastructure to do so.
Yeah,
And I mean, whether it's countries or you're talking about the lower class, middle class, upper class, it's the same thing. We've been hearing this a lot recently in the recent years. Middle class in the next 5, 10 years, will there even be a middle class
won't
anymore?
exist.
You know what I'm
Won't
saying?
exist.
So it won't exist.
And people are working towards that, right? Like the system itself, if you already felt that yes, we've already been in the digital age, right? But now we're going into the artificial intelligence age. It's leaving the digital age and it's going into another age of computing, quantum computing, all these things. It's advancing very quickly. And so if you thought the digital age itself was creating or pressing down on the middle class and you're just working, but you can't seem to
Mhm.
get ahead, it gets worse because of
Yeah,
inflation and technology. So inflation times
technology.
technology equals expansion, like to
Hmm.
the third, right?
Hmm.
With an exponential three at the side of it. So it's understanding how to implement yourself into this stuff because you don't want to get left behind
You
at
don't want to
all.
get like you want to, yeah, 100%. It's crazy because after our last show, after we hit, done recording and all that, and stopped recording, we were talking about education and how the advancement in technology and AI, how does that affect our kids? Or when I have kids, how does that affect your daughter? How does that affect your kids for the listeners that are listening, for the people that are listening out there? How does it affect your kids? So, um, yeah, it's something that we definitely got to be mindful of, you know, and
Yeah.
as this technology is developing, are our school systems, are they developing as well? Are they being flexible on what's being taught, or are they going to continue to teach the same old thing? Because if that's the case, that's where you're going to see that dichotomy between the lack and the people that are being innovative.
And this is one of the reasons why you want to make sure that even out in the rural parts of the United States, it's very important to have internet access. It's going to be
Mm,
even more crucial now for the speeds and the capacity and availability to have that access because
yeah, I didn't even
people
think
that are
about that.
in, right? People that are around
Yeah.
data centers or in cities and have that access, they're able to learn quicker. They're able to
Mhm.
implement technology at a higher level versus someone that's out in a rural area. You know, you could miss out on a year or you have slow connection capability, so you can't fully use the version of an app that everyone else can.
Mhm.
Like that's productivity, which turns into money. And so if you multiply that times massive amounts of people at scale, that's a lot of money that's made in certain clusters in certain areas that's not made in other areas, right? So
Mhm.
these are just things to think about and why you want to focus in an area. Maybe you live in a rural area, and so there's opportunity for you to go and seek out how do I get data centers? How do I get broadband capability? How do I get fiber optic in
Mm.
my area, right? How can I become a part of that? Can I find some type of funding or government money, which there is, right? To bring that actual technology into the area because I want to make sure that my kids, I want to make sure that everyone's children in this area has the same opportunities as everyone else in the city or wherever else.
Yeah, and look, we talk a lot about technology and AI and whatnot. I do want to pose this question for everybody that's listening. Let us know what you guys want to know about AI and technology and how maybe you're like, yo, Chris, how do you use AI? How do Jeremiah, how do you use it? We'll talk about it a little bit in this conversation, but we can do a whole episode on like walking through how we specifically use these different platforms. So the last thing that we want is our people to get left behind, but
Mm.
specifically people that are listening to Latin wealth that have that mindset that you want to grow, that you want to develop. We don't want y'all to get left behind. So if there's something specific you want to learn or see, let us know, and of course we will discuss it.
Of course.
Cool. So that was the very first one. We'll dive into another one pretty soon. But another one, again, there's 12 different predictions. We're not going to go over all of them. This is a Forbes article that you can check out. Um, Jeremiah actually just spoke about this
Yeah.
briefly, the stock market shift in AI dominance. Um, Companies like Nvidia will be a valuation leader because of its strategic position in AI hardware. So literally just spoke about this. We'll see more of that in 2025. Scrolling down a little bit more, AI and robotic transformation, multimodal AI and AI agents will transform industry. Several recently developed methods of for electronic interpreting and producing multiple forms of data, text, images, and audio will allow sectors include healthcare, education, and communication services to innovate their processes significantly. All right. So let's break that down a little bit for the people out there that are listening. If you're not watching on YouTube, we are on YouTube sharing our screen. But let's break this down a little bit for people out there what multimodal means.
It can perform in different capacities,
Yep.
right? Multimodal. It can perform in multiple different modes, different capacities. He's bringing up you can't see it right now, but he's bringing up the actual
I
definition.
want to bring up the like the AI, because
Multimodal
there's right,
AI.
right.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah, basically what you said, multimodal is a type of artificial intelligence that can process and integrate multiple types of data at once. So I actually can give you a good example. So our camera is actually, if I'm not mistaken, is considered multimodal because what it's using different sensors
yeah.
and different light and whatnot to create an image for y'all. So this, I think if I'm not mistaken, this is an example of a multimodal device.
Yeah, hit the down button right there where it says show more. It's talking about Gemini. See, so
Okay,
these
here we
are
go.
like several examples. Google's Gemini, of course, they're going to use their own, right? AI, smart of them. Self-driving cars, right? So autonomous
Mhm.
cars, so the
Yeah,
Teslas, biomed, right? That's using data from biobanks and your facial
yeah.
recognition, probably that you didn't give them permission to do, but
Right, right.
there it is.
Right. So
Um,
the self-driving cars is that maybe is a better example for me to give.
yeah.
So again, multimodal, they're using different things to process and interpret data. Self-driving cars, they got cameras, they got radar, they got LiDAR, and they got GPS. All right. So they're using all these things in real time to interpret data about the surroundings and where you're driving and all types of stuff.
So you're going to see the rise of that. Obviously, the first
Yes.
person to the party, which is Tesla and stuff like that. They've had this stuff for years now, right? So they are ahead of the game. So yeah, you'll see the rise of more companies that focus specifically on the multimodal AI and the like they said the AI agents. So
Mhm.
this is people or a version of AI that can intake data from your voice inflection, from what you say, from all these different things that's happening, right? And then they can utilize that to provide a solution for you. Oh, that's
100%.
good.
What I'm looking up I forgot the name. I don't know if you know the name of it, but basically there was a device that came out at the beginning of 2024 where you clip it on your shirt. It was almost like something
Oh, I know
like
what you're talking.
this,
Yeah.
and you're able to use multimodal and control it. So by using your hand. So it uses a radar um, or uses a sensor, and the sensor goes on your hand, and you're
Mhm.
able to call people just using your hand. You're able to press buttons. Ultimately, I think that company failed, but it wasn't. No, it like so. Quick side note: there's this YouTuber online, and he reviews all technology. He reviewed the product. He was like, "Yo, this product is trash," and the company went out of business.
I mean, you got to have practicality. That's one thing that I say, for Elon on all his the ketamine and however whatever else. But man, when it comes to actively being able to provide technology that's relatable and can be integrated into society at scale, unmatched.
100%. Okay, so let's move along a little bit more. Advancement in space exploration. Now, this is very interesting,
You and I
and I'm
talked
sure,
about this. This is I want you to get yeah, no, no, no. You read it. I want you to go ahead and give your opinion to the people. We talked
bro,
about this.
I mean, yeah, we've talked about it. Like, this is such advancements are likely to yield $1 trillion industry. We don't even know anything about our own ocean, and we going up and spending all this money in the sky.
I think we know more than we're revealing. I'll just leave it at
About
that.
what?
I think we know more about the ocean than we reveal.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair to say.
Yeah. There's stuff down there you probably
Yeah,
don't.
but yes, we were talking about some of this stuff last week. Um, yeah, so look, we'll just leave it at that. Advancement in space exploration is it something else that you'll see? Biotechnology revolution, you'll see a lot more of that. Automotive and transportation transformation.
You're gonna let me
Uh,
pose the question to our people?
Go ahead.
Do you guys believe in aliens? Yes or no? At this
That's
point,
the question
you're
of the
like, oh,
day.
here they go. I was waiting for it. Yeah, because listen, I have a question for you, and this is something that I've honestly asked people. Where do you think they got all this technology from? Oh, people come up with it, did they? So that's just a question. That's just a question. I just want to know, do you believe you could drop it in the comments whether yes or no. You think humans are the only people in the entire, multi-trillions of planets out there. We're the only one with life. If you believe that, that's fine. But that's a question.
That's the question. Go ahead and answer it down below. If you answer it, that just tells us that you made it this far in the conversation.
Yeah, that's a checkpoint.
It's a checkpoint question. Great question. Going back to automotive, which we also spoke about,
Yeah.
there's a forecast that 85 million EVs will be on our roads by the end of 2025.
Wow.
They're saying that I predict 1 in 4 cars sold will be electric. All right.
Tough. I don't know if
Moving
I
on.
believe that right now at this time period. The reason I say that is because you're battling against commodities, right? You're
Yeah.
battling against an industry that you kind of still need to power, right? To kind of power your AI. AI drains an immense amount of power from the grid,
Hmm.
right? And so how does that power happen? How are you doing it? It's coal burning, it's natural gas, it's so you still need the industry that you're trying to replace, right? There's oil that you create for the windmills, for those big turbines. They still need. It's weird. I was
Yeah.
watching something, but they were talking about that. So I don't know. That's a prediction. I don't know if that'll come true though.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting because what something that we and I don't know if it has something to do with this, but something that we see a lot out here in Dallas is my wife calls it the Tesla graveyards. So you'll just be driving around and they got just cyber trucks with no license plates, nothing, just sitting there collecting dust in this big old parking lot. I don't know what they're doing with them or they're just sitting there.
What?
Yeah, I mean there's a couple lots around here in Dallas where there's hundreds of Teslas, Cybertrucks, different models just sitting there with no license plates.
If anything, I think y'all just okay, I won't go there. Anyway, got
But
it.
my wife, every time we drive by, she's like, "Oh, it looks like a graveyard," because they just collecting dust, and it's just I don't know exactly. Um, yeah, I didn't know too much about that. But going back to the article, something we're getting a little off topic today. It's all good. By the way, this was the pin that I was talking about. Again, if you guys are watching on uh if you guys are not watching on YouTube, I highly suggest go check out the YouTube conversation that we're having. And you can just see this is the device. It's kind of a pin that you put it on your shirt, and essentially it projects information on your hand, and you can do different things with it. Ultimately, this product did not do well and it failed. I think they went out of business already, but they did go viral because this is an example of multimodal technology. And I'll just leave it at that. Um, moving along, cybersecurity spending will top $300 billion. That's actually going to be very interesting to see as well because we're having somebody on the platform that is an attorney, and we had a conversation about AI, had a conversation about Web3 and whatnot, and just the IP business side of everything, how difficult he was mentioning how difficult it is to keep up. So you'll see a lot more people spending money to in these different areas.
Hmm. I'm sitting and I'm thinking about like from an intellectual property point of view, how hard it must be, right, in the
Yeah,
law space to keep up with things that are legal or not legal, and how do you how do you sue Drake for using Snoop and Tupac's voice?
voice. Yeah,
I,
100%.
I'm not literally saying that. I'm
Hmm.
saying these are the things that you're moving into when a
Hmm.
record company no longer needs the actual person, right? But they could take the soundbite, and this has been happening for years, like with
Hmm.
rappers. They could just take their voice and create whole verses, right? And so it's just kind of stuff that I think about. How hard is it to defend against that, right? Like, did you sign in that contract? Did you sign over your IP? Is that even really your IP, or is that the IP of the AI? Like, that's a good question.
Hmm.
It's pretty.
Uh,
Hmm.
Another one that we want to spend some time on is towards AGI and super intelligence. So, look, we all these different topics are kind of weed in together, and we've kind of been talking about it. AGI is artificial general intelligence, and really it surpasses traditional AI by mimicking human level intelligence across tasks. So again, you can see in this picture, it's basically a human working on AI or robot or something like that, and it's kind of evolving into super intelligence that can do probably what the human can do in this photo. But anyways, uh, we spoke about multiple times on this podcast episode and recent episodes how very soon, and there's an article that I was reading by 2027 the AI that we're currently using can have the intelligence of a sophisticated PhD student. So in that scenario, why would somebody go ahead and invest in paying an employee that has that same degree when they could just use AI, right? Not only that, but the AI platforms, they don't take very long to train. With a human, you may need to train them for about 2 to 3 months for them to just get acclimated with the job. With AI, you can just train it in 5 minutes and boom, they'll start working and accomplishing tasks.
Why even have a boss?
That too.
Yeah, no, that's yeah. I won't get too deep into it, but sentient. When we talk about sentient, sentient means human. So when
Mm-hmm.
you when AI gets to that place and it starts creating, because what you see in that and what you see in the picture,
Yep.
if you guys go to the YouTube, it's obviously please go to the YouTube and check us out. But in the picture, if you look and see the humans creating a robot, the robot is you know, actually manipulating or creating what seems to be a force of life. So that's the sentient being, and in his hand, he creates
Mm-hmm.
life. You see the
Yep.
light, like he's creating life itself. And so it's going to change what the definition of life is. It takes me back to the movie with Robin Williams, Bicentennial Man,
Mm-hmm.
where he went from
Mm-hmm.
a robot and basically became a man. They created a heart, created lungs, they create right. And he lived for 200 years because he wanted to be human. Um, you're like, oh, that's crazy. No, go back and watch it. It's
Mm-hmm.
different. There's some deep thought and deep principles that's in that movie that you start to see coming realistic, right? Coming to life now.
100%. And so again, you'll see a lot more businesses and government adopt AGI to optimize processes and cut costs, as we just spoke about. You'll see a lot more AGI-based startups and investments become high growth opportunities for investors. And then you'll also see a lot more automation and AGI implementation to disrupt typical traditional roles, as we just spoke about, right? So requiring us to continue to brush up on our skills. And I know we're having a little fun on this episode. We're going into the future a little bit, but this stuff is real. It's going to come a lot quicker than than you can think, right? We're going to be doing another episode in a couple months, and we're going to be like, matter of fact, at the end of 2025, we're going to look back at this episode and we're like, man, we were talking crazy at that time, but it's not so crazy no more, right? This stuff is real and it's here. Um,
I always
and
tell
it,
people I always tell people to
yep,
think about this. Whatever version you see that's out in the market, they're 3 to 5 versions ahead of that.
yep, yep,
So yeah.
100%. Cool. I think we showed them enough information. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Again, we don't want to do any fear mongering. We want to
No.
educate. We want to show you what is here, what is happening. We really want to encourage you, even if it's like a couple hours out the week, just to educate yourself about AI. Use the platform. Some of these platforms like ChatGPT can only help you. Just before we hit record, Jeremiah was saying that he used to, draft up his contracts and his documents on his own. Now he uses ChatGPT to do all that for him. So for you, when you would draft up those documents, how long would it take you? And how long does it take you now to draft those documents and those contracts?
A normal contract with all the iterations and the details would take me probably about 2 or 3 days,
Mm,
honestly, because
mm,
just the time it takes, detail and stuff. Um, I basically have a template and I create that now. It takes me 3 minutes.
mm. There it is. 2 to 3 days. That's crazy. So look, especially for our Latino community, we gotta leave the ego at the door. We gotta leave the stubbornness out the door. We gotta be how we have to have an open mind. I seen a meme today. It was kind of funny. Like it says something like more closed-minded people have their mouth opens or something like that. Like the wrong thing is open.
Yeah,
We need to open
it's
up
true.
our mind to what is happening. And I'm telling you right now, things are gonna look very different 2 to 3 years now from now and by 2030 it's going to be completely different.
Yeah, I think time is compounding. Like you said, by the end of 25, we'll see a significant difference. What was taking 5 years is taking 6 months now.
For sure.
What would take a year, what would take 10 years, you're seeing that in a year and a half. Like stuff is just like it's moving so quick. It's almost people are almost jaded now to how fast stuffs move and how like every day you have a change, right? But you have to be ahead of this stuff. You got to be reading. You got to be, well, I mean, you don't have to, but that's why we're here. We try to just give you a little seed. And then, like we say, Chris, what's our favorite? Do your due diligence.
Do your
Go
due diligence.
investigate the stuff we're talking about. We provide the articles. Go check it out. See how you can utilize it. There
Mhm.
is a way that every single person that's watching this can utilize AI to their benefit. Not fear mongering. We're just giving you the information so you can build a foundation and then go build whatever it is that you need to go build.
Yep, that's it. Look, guys, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate everybody. We appreciate you if you like, shared, subscribed. If you've done any of that, left a comment. We
For
really
sure.
do appreciate you guys. We pray that you guys have a blessed 2025. Hopefully, you guys have a safe, wherever you're listening to this app, safe trip back home. Keep rocking with us. We're going to have a lot more great conversation, a lot more dope guests. Latin Wealth Summit #2 is going to happen. It's going to be bigger and better.
Man,
And yeah, I'm excited for 2025. Rock with us, man.
make sure to put the bottle down. I'm messing with you.
Yeah,
Guys,
do
Happy New
that.
Year. Happy
Happy New
2025.
Year's. Peace.
Peace, guys.